Welcome back to the Super Tuesday recap. This is your host, Kriss and Dpalm. Here, Dpalm is back from, he survived his bachelor party. So, good to have you back, man.
You know, we're trying to improve international relations north of the border.
Yeah. I mean, did you ask them what their refugee situation is for wayward American?
I did get one or two American. Oh, what about Trump? No, I'm like, okay, look. Do I look like a motherfucker vote for Trump?
What do you think we're dealing with right now? Anyway,
we're working on it, okay? Working on it.
Anyway, oh man, I didn't check. Did we have any 5-star reviews? I don't think we did.
No new reviews.
No new reviews. But again, remember, if you subscribe to us on iTunes, I keep forgetting this too. We are also on. If you're an Android, we are also on Google Play Music for podcasts. If we're hopefully this weekend we'll be switching over to the new site. There will be a constant reminder that we are on Google Play Music as long as Stitcher. But if you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes for Super Tuesday Recap, we will read it on air when we go through this. But we are back today to talk The Flash, Season 3, Episode 2, Episode 20. I Know Who You Are. Team Flash meets a scientist who may be the key to stopping Savitar, but is forced into battle with Killer Frost. This is an episode we finally understand. We finally are revealed who Savitar is. We'll get to that at the end, even though I think just about everybody already kind of knew who it was at this point. Because, as we said last week, there was only really one choice they could have gone with. But let's get back into this.
I can't even brag, man. We've been writing about that for a while now.
Like, I've been seeing people say, "Oh, well, it's been a few episodes." Nigga, like, I want to say it was like the first episode of Flashpoint when Thawne is yelling at Barry, "Who's our villain now, Flash?" Foreshadowing. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh man. But anyway, what do you think of this episode, man? Because I know we were talking about this. We've been stating our problems with the pacing of this entire season, and so that's been making it really hard to really talk about these last two episodes, because I think without the pacing issues, they're strong episodes, but the pacing issues kind of make it so it starts from a negative already, you know?
So basically this should have been 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You threw in a lot of, and I know people say, "Oh, there wasn't a whole lot of action." There was so much emotional heft in this hour. Like, not only do we and I get it, it was very well done. I thought that the way they got to the reveal by highlighting all the love around the team was very important. I thought that was really well done. But if you'd have done this, if the Cecile Joe "I love you" had hung for a week, if HR was able to slow play replacement Caitlin.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to get into that later. But yes, we were asking about what happens. Yeah, yeah.
Replacement Caitlin.
Yeah.
Like, the way they compressed it made him seem creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted it to feel genuine because her reactions were genuine. Right. And I think that they had spread. This had been a 2-parter. It would have played a little bit better, or even use this as like a subplot, B plot for the last 2 episodes. If you found some way to work in more of the present day while Barry's in the future, that would have worked too. I think that it just felt I enjoyed this episode. It just felt super compressed.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happens again, and it goes back to the entire season's problems of having some pacing issues. There are things that they've been compressing that just don't make the story as tight. I have, was it 3? Yeah, 3 things here that happened in this episode that I put in my notes. Because I'll be honest, for this one, this is one of the ones I did not rewatch. And not because I didn't like it or anything like that, just because it was a lot to happen, but I kind of could remember everything. So here are my 3 things. The first one was why Wally was all of a sudden back on Earth 3. And I got mad at first because they mentioned that. Because I think even somebody on the team goes, really? At this point, he goes to Earth 3? Which is my reaction. But then I was
Julian.
Like, huh?
It was Julian. I was like, yeah, Julian.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good point. But then on the other hand, I appreciate the mention of Jesse and Wally and him visiting his girlfriend because I'm like, well, that's an important piece. You need to make sure you keep that relationship going. But it goes back to the whole, did you really need to do that this late at this point in the season? Like, he really should be there. Like, this isn't the point to take detours. It's kind of weird, but again, it serves a larger purpose in keeping us, like, this is the problem we had a few episodes ago. We were talking about Wally and Jesse, and the problem was, hey, if you're gonna sell someone's relationship, you can't have Jesse on Earth 2 and Wally never mentioned Jesse being on Earth 2 or them never really talking about each other. So here you do it, but I'm like, oh man, just not the good timing for that at this point. Like, that's not what I had in mind.
I was kind of okay with it, just anything, because it's not like she could die any moment. He knows the day she dies,
right?
And I can see him like wanting that normalcy before this all goes wrong.
Yeah.
And besides, they didn't even go to Earth 2. And then actually, something I wrote down, and it's a really good note. They're on Earth 3 because remember, she took over Earth 3 patrol after Jay got trapped in the Speed Force.
Exactly. And again, like I said, I had the Julian reaction at first going, terrible timing. But at the same time, there were small things like that, like them going to Earth 3, them actually just, keeping in mind that, hey, Jesse and Wally are in a relationship and they should be keeping in contact with each other. Like, that kind of stuff, I'm like...
And it fit with the larger theme of the episode, which was love.
Exactly. So, again, felt a little bit off, but again, I think it's not the problem of the episode per se, but the larger problem of pacing the entire season kind of makes you not appreciate that moment. The other thing, too, in here, and it's something you've already mentioned here, the Joe and Cecile issue. Like, it just felt too compressed, and the first problem, and again, it's just like the Jesse and Wally thing. My first reaction was, why are they writing this so bad? Like, this is stupid. Why is Joe acting like Barry? That's literally what I had the question of. But then later on, when they actually kind of flesh it out, and Joe's telling her about the feelings and telling her about, hey, and actually when he's talked to Barry, he's like, hey, because once we get to that level, it's not about me loving her. It's just that means she's got to be brought into the craziness in my world. And I've been lying to her all this time. And, like, it makes sense then, but also because of the pacing of the season, they haven't really been driving that relationship as hard. Like, that relationship didn't really pick up until, what, was it after the break? The winter break? Maybe?
Yeah, it definitely was. If it wasn't, it feels like it.
Right. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, you kind of, even to us as the audience, we're like, damn, you are kind of rushing into this. Like, hey, wait a minute. Why is you guys love each other now? Like, you guys, like, I like the relationship. I like that they've gotten to this point, but it's felt like that is taking a little bit of time to get there. I think it might have been a little bit before the break, because the break was them ending with the Christmas episode and Barry proposing. And I know, yeah, so it was before the break, but it just, I don't know, the pacing kind of messed with it at first, but then towards the end of the episode, with the theme of love and how Joe explained why he was so hesitant and had such a visceral reaction to her saying this, it made sense and it worked out for me. Also the fact that I kind of liked the fact that they didn't drag it out to 2 episodes.
I think actually you're right. Like, as they're talking about it,
yeah,
I do like the fact that they didn't treat this relationship like the high school ones that are normally featured on the show.
Right. Like, and I think that's why when it first started, I was really angry about it, because I was like, oh, don't you fucking dare, Joe. You are not a kid. You better handle this good black woman who's looking out for you and doing all this stuff. You better not do this shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm laying on the couch watching the show, and I got upset. Like I literally sat up and was like, oh hell no, we are not. You dude, you better fix this. And so when they broke up and she walked out the door, and that's when Caitlyn grabs her, I'm like, okay, we might fix this now. And again, so I think that my original reaction and them compressing it is more about the fact that before this episode, the pacing had been a little messed up. But I actually do like the fact that they handled it all in one episode. There is one problem I did have that I could not forgive them for. If you're gonna have Joe break it down and tell her, you got to show us. You got to show us her meeting Barry. You got to, and her reaction to, like, I need that. And that's just me being selfish. I
think they'll show us the first time she actually meets him in the suit.
Right.
I didn't need to see, because at first I was like, why would you shoot? But then it shows me like it becomes a show not tell thing, kind of like just how you're supposed to shoot television. Is it more interesting to show him having this conversation with her, or is it more interesting to show her reaction to him in the suit the first time?
Well, no. So I like that. Well, so I think you can have it both ways. Like I fully expected, like, the conversation with him, meeting her in his office and having that talk. Love that. Whereas that scene at the end of the episode where Wally's back, Barry's there, and Iris is there, I need Cecile there.
Yeah, that's good. She should. Well, no. But that's when, because he's telling them.
Yeah, but I think
and that's like a dad and kids moment.
Okay. But I still think that, like, because I still want I'm with you on the moment of seeing Cecile see Barry in the suit. I actually want to see her seeing Barry and Wally in the suit together, and her just having that look on her face, like, I know who you guys are. But I also want, because it is such a family a family thing, and they're literally bringing her into the family. I don't know. I kind of want it to be a big deal. I kind of want them to have I
think when it happens, it will be a big deal. I did kind of like him going to them first, because part of my hesitation was that's not his secret to tell.
You're right. And well, I agree with that. But then Barry did kind of tell him, you gotta tell her. So
I know Barry still did it, but like at the same time, like even if I had someone's blessing to do that, I'd be like, okay, hey, by the way, I did tell him.
Okay, all right. So I definitely need it at some point, and I don't know. Again,
I think that we're going to get paid off with that, because they've done it because they keep doing with Diggle, and it keeps being funny.
Right.
And they know that's funny. Like, they're aware it's humorous.
Right. But I need the West family spin on it. I need the family dinner. I need the family dinner with them all there, and that's what I need, because she deserves that. And that's definitely something that they got to do at some point before this season ends. I need that moment, because it just fits with everything they've done and how the West family has handled these kind of things before when it comes to bringing a member of the family in, So, and you're right. I guess my problems with pacing has kind of made me nervous. Some of the small details have made me nervous with some things like this.
No, I think that we're not wrong in being a little bit nervous.
Right. But if you go off of what they've done before, they always handle these things right? Like when like the way they handled Wally and him coming back, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. I just needed that. I needed that. And then the last thing I have on my list was something that I don't know. Maybe you can talk me off the ledge over this. And I think this was the biggest question I had, because the other two things I could talk myself out of, right? The Wally and Jesse thing, a small thing, but again, overall makes sense. They compressed it, but okay, get it. The Joe and Cecile, okay, fine, get that. Why is Cisco all of a sudden worried about not being able to control his powers with Caitlyn?
Okay. So I'm of two minds. Part of me thinks, why would he be worried now? Mm-hmm. The other part of me responds with this. Can you tell me in the space of a sentence what his powers actually do to people?
Oh, that's valid. Like,
we've never really talked about what he's doing.
No, no, I think that's 100% valid. In that technical sense, the problem I have with this is he's faced off of Caitlyn before using his powers, and this hangup has never been there. He battled Gypsy, never had this hangup. Like he's gotten powerful. He's done.
When is he battled Caitlyn?
It was the first time she turned into Killer Frost, didn't he?
See, I'm just trying. I'm not even trying. I'm just.
No, I thought
the Flash of the future.
No. I think it was before. I think it was the first time she turned into Killer Frost. The first time she ended up stabbing, Barry. Because I think he used his powers on her then. Pretty sure.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
Okay, well, sorry, I was just thinking out loud.
But that goes back to the problem of the show. The breaks in the show make you forget certain things, and I want to say that was before the break. So that was such a long time ago. It's easy to forget. But then but even more recent things, you had him battling Gypsy and doing all the crazy things he's done now, being able to control. I mean, he's got some precision with his powers now, man. This is a guy it's one of those things.
I think part of it's the target. Like it is, and it's not just like Caitlyn in the spur of the moment. It's like we're gonna go hunt Caitlyn.
Right. Well. But then it was.
And there's one thing that's been his constant throughout this whole experience has been the two of them.
Oh wait, and you know what? It hit me another time. You know what? He did use his powers not too long ago when Caitlyn had done her last turn because she was just about to do something to she's just about to kiss Julian, and he used his powers on her then. So it's just one of those things that I'm like, okay, I get that. I get what they were trying to go for, which is this is his best friend. He's now having to use his powers against his best friend, and as a human reaction, that would mess with anybody's mind, 100%. But he's done it before.
You're right.
And so it's that thing right there that I need them to tighten up next season, because that is just unacceptable to me, because you can't throw little things like that in and then. Make it that was a major plot point this episode. There were 2 times this episode where he froze and didn't use his powers on Killer Frost when he had her dead to rights. And they never give a legit explanation as to why, outside of, well, he's afraid of hurting her with his powers, and that just feels like it came out of nowhere. Like I agree that it should be a legit reaction, but I would have expected to see hints of that before, you know. So I don't know. That kind of threw me off a little bit. I wasn't really understanding how they make that leap of faith, and I get it felt like they were doing it just because they needed that plot point in there, and not to mention they needed Barry to get stabbed again in the same leg, which. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I love Killer Frost, Caitlyn.
So do I, and I really think that she was kind of the MVP of this episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Because this was kind of like an emotional episode where everyone's kind of tied up in it, but she brought she was like if this was all like a study on the emotions of this show, kind of leading into the soapy aspects, she was an emotional sledgehammer. Mm-hmm. Because her turning affected so many people, so many different ways. And I'm going to say this right now, and y'all can get mad at me if you want to, but Iceman has never in them shitty X-Men movies.
Thank you, because I put that tweet out. I was saving it.
Has never.
How
she went side and left, right. She loop-de-loops and shit. Like shit you see in the X-Men comic book, she was doing that shit. Iceman has never in them shitty X-Men movies. My 2 favorite X-Men of all time are Iceman and Havoc.
She did Iceman better. When she hit the slide, I was like, "Oh, that's cute." Oh no, they're literally gonna have her doing the ice slide as Barry chases after her.
I was like, "Oh, that's how she's leaving the screen. That's cool." Oh no, really? We got a sequence of this shit,
dude. That was. Amazing.
That's a better Iceman and a better Quicksilver than Bryan Singer has ever dreamed of.
Ever. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I had to give some of my negative feelings about some of the things that happened in this episode, but it's things like that, which is why I'll never give up on the Flash. Because here's the thing, yes, pacing. There's some small things like the Cisco thing coming out of nowhere. There's some small annoying things, even like with the way they write relationships sometimes. But I literally have written down in my notes, this show is not afraid to go there. They are not afraid to reach. And we said it when they did the Gorilla Grodd episode, the attack.
Well, that's what I've written down right here.
Yeah.
I have, this show was weirdly paced this season. It was a little uneven, you can say, about individual episodes, but I also watched Barry Allen knock out a gorilla.
I'm always going to have a soft spot for an above decent show. I mean, let's be honest. This is for all the complaints I have about the pacing and things like that. This is infinitely better than any fucking comic book show I watched growing up in my time. All right, easily. Like I watched, and I'm a person who watched the entire season of that 1990 fucking Flash show. All right, so I'm sorry. You can tell me anything you want, but fuck that. This show, though, despite its problems, despite the issues there, they will go there. They will make sure that they reward anybody who reads a comic book or loves these characters. They will reward you for that. And that scene right there, like I remember in the beginning of the season, we were talking about how Savitar looked kind of cheesy. I don't know about this. I think they were saving the budget for the end of the season. Because when they got back from break, Savitar instantly started looking better. And they just had Caitlin hitting the ice slide. I mean, what do you want from me, yo?
I got nothing, man.
I mean, Caitlin hit the ice slide, and it was amazing. It
was amazing. That's an understatement of the year.
Bobby Drake has never. We got like 2 seconds of Bobby Drake doing that before dying and going full Iceman in I think in Days of Future Past, but that was fucking it. Like they went ice slide. They did the ice slide. She was doing the ice slide around Central City. Like, dog, come on, bro.
Your Iceman could never.
Never. Has never, will never. On a CW budget. Nigga, listen. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on.
No, look, you preaching to the choir, man.
You got... Like, people are going to say, oh, man, season 3 of The Flash wasn't that great. Pacing, and I'm going to be like, yeah, but Gorilla City, Ice Slide, I got...
Did you watch Barry Allen knock out a gorilla?
I don't know.
Did you watch Barry Allen knock out a gorilla? That's my only question. I watched Barry Allen knock out a gorilla.
Hey, listen.
That shit was fire.
Tracy Brand and HR, yo. I think you mentioned it. It was a little creepy on HR's point.
He had to move fast, though. The season's almost over.
Right. And so I'm going to let it slide. But I liked it because it's just, you know what I liked about it is, like, especially, it really hit me towards the end when he's talking to her and she's telling me about how she's afraid of not living up to expectations. And you could tell that HR literally found somebody he can relate to, because while he's not a genius, he lives with that. He lives with it. He lives with the fact that he'll never live up to any of the HR, any of the Harrison Wells the team knows. He's not Harry. He's not the original Wells that was Thawne. Both of them were geniuses. Both of them could do all this great things and were destined for greatness. Well, depending on for Wells Thawne, it depends on what point of view you're looking at. But he'll never be that. And so here you have Tracy Brand, who they show her her future and what she will accomplish, and she's worried about she's now even more worried about living up to that expectation. And so, at first it seemed like they had just paired the two together on some HR just wants to go after the hot chick, type shit. But when they have that conversation, it's real.
It's like added some depth to it, but it was still fast.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. Yeah. That this is one of the things I'm chalking up to. They got 3 more episodes left. At this point, I feel like everything's going to be fast. Anything that's not going to be resolved, it's not going to be saved for next season, and it's going to be resolved this season. It's going to be fast. I got to accept that at this point. But I do appreciate. I think that they didn't add that scene in there, and they didn't add more depth to that relationship, then it being so fast and quick would have made me. It would have been way more creepier than it was. And I do like the fact that he's trying to ask her at the end, and she has she all of a sudden has her eureka moment about how to do the Speed Force trap, and so they don't do the whole I'm gonna ask you out on a date thing. I like the fact that they didn't like that. Kind of helped the fact that they were moving kind of quickly, and they kind of held it off a little bit. Like stretch. This is one of the things you can stretch out until the end of the season. Like I can wait until episode 23, which somebody remind me there is 23 episodes of this show. I can wait until episode 23 of this season before HR and Tracy Brand go on a date. If she lives, well, she has to live, so there's that.
She's a replacement Caitlyn. What are you talking about?
You're right. Replacement Caitlyn, definitely gonna happen. So let's see. I guess we'll get to the Savitar. So it's Barry. Had to be. Yeah, it had to be. I'm gonna be interested in seeing how they explain which Barry this is. Because, is it because it's obviously a Barry that has suffered a loss himself, but and suffered the loss of Iris and stuff like that. But what is it? A time remnant Barry? Is it a Barry himself? Like which Barry is it the Barry? So he went to the future, met the once and future Flash, and what was it, 2024?
Yeah.
Is it the Barry, that Barry who has suffered all this stuff and became so depressed? Is it a future version of? Is it like so you go to 2030? Is it that Barry along that same timeline? Like which Barry is it? A Barry from a Flashpoint he created and then he went back and changed it again? Like which Barry is? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking could it be the Flashpoint Barry? Because remember, Savitar was creating and bringing in metas from that Flashpoint era. So was it that Barry? Like I want them to see. I want to see how they explain the Barry that this is.
I have a few theories of my own. I'm gonna keep them close to the vest right now, but I do hope. I part of me hopes that we get a clear explanation of who it is, but part of me hopes that they're just, I'm a different Barry. I had a different future. Like I hope they didn't part of me hopes they hand wave it. Like they don't go too far into it, because while you and I would like the nuance explained, we could probably, if they leave enough breadcrumbs, we could probably put it together. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid they go so far comic booky. I'm afraid pushing even further would lose people.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I almost feel like they have to explain it, because again, so the big thing about this and how Barry is able to figure out that it is, a future version of himself, is because this Barry has literally lived this. So and it's got to be along the same timeline as Barry, because that's how Barry figured it out.
Your clue.
Because anything Barry does, Savitar knows.
Like when Barry learned about replacement, what is her name? Tracy Brand? Sorry,
Tracy Brand, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When he learned about Tracy Brand, that's when he sent Killer Frost after her.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is, because I don't think they answer this, is why didn't Savitar just kill Tracy Brand himself.
Because he didn't know. He didn't know she existed beforehand.
No. I mean, once he did, and he saved Caitlin. Like, you know, when at the end they stopped Caitlin.
They mentioned something about the suit discharging electricity, discharging the Speed Force.
Right.
I don't know.
So maybe that's it. Maybe not only is she the one that traps him in the Speed Force, maybe wouldn't that be something? What if the trap that she traps him in the Speed Force is the suit?
Oh, that's what it is. Because remember, he says that I was trapped in the Speed Force and used the Speed Force to build this suit.
Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why you can't kill her. So you can't if he can't. I don't know. That's just because then why did he want her? Because then he did want to kill her. It's like I don't know.
It's a destination loop. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. So
we don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's all very strange.
So that goes back to why I'm like I don't know. I think they kind of have to get like maybe they make it a really good. If they make it a really simple explanation, then it's fine. But it's got to be a really good one. Because, I mean, again, this is something we've been calling for a while. Hey, it's Barry. You know? All right. We knew it was somebody going to be close to him. At first, we were thinking that it could have been Wally. Okay, after this point, it's Barry. All right? It just the signs started pointing to that direction. Okay, fine. But now you need to give me an explanation of as how. Like, why does he need Caitlin? Why does... Because, you know what? I had the same feeling I had when we were doing Legend of Tomorrow. Remember how we had that moment in Legend of Tomorrow where we're like, and we had the same question that Malcolm Merlin and Damien Dark had, which was, why does Thawne need me? Why does he need henchmen? Why didn't he just do it all himself? And they come back and be like, well, he's being chased by, the Black Flash Zoom, and because he's, literally outrunning death. You kind of have the same thing with Savitar. He shows up, he pops up. At this point, once Wally opened up the Speed Force and Savitar crawled out of it, at that point, where is he going? Why does he need anybody else? He's clearly fast enough to take care of Barry. He can do all this stuff himself. Why does he need a partner? Why does he need any of these things? Like, I think that's going to be the key right there. On how they kind of sell this to us, because and explaining like which Barry this is, because there's something there. Like he clearly needs the suit to run. So what's going on here? Like there's
or does he?
Oh, you're right.
This is the first time that like this episode is the first time that anyone's posited that they're generating Speed Force as they run.
True.
If something's happened to his body to lose cohesion while he runs, the suit could be used to protect him.
True. Yeah.
The biggest thing right now is what we know is that we don't know. Mm-hmm. And while they've done a very good job of, and I liked how they had Barry put it together the way that we've all like, I'm the future Flash. There was no comma. Mm-hmm. I'm the future Flash.
Savitar's been telling you since the beginning. He's been telling you since the beginning.
Comma.
Right. Telling you since the beginning.
I guarantee if you watch with closed caption, you've known since like November.
Right. I've been telling you who the fuck I am. It's about fucking time.
It's literally who's on first.
Right.
But I think that it's very like, yeah, okay. They did fine. I hope the reveal will be a bit more impactful, but this was fine. Now what?
And yeah.
Because the finales of these shows have been very emotionally impactful for the Flash, but you gotta remember he took down Reverse Flash the episode before the finale. Mm-hmm. He took down Zoom by running in a fucking circle. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna need more out of this finale. You've got, 3 episodes left?
Yeah, 3.
I think they can do it. I think they'll be fine. I think that this show is, for all its pacing issues, it's gearing up at the right time. Like, if you're going to kick it in overdrive emotionally and action-wise, this is the time to do it. Mm-hmm. And I hope they can pull it off because I want to look back and rewatch the season and come in with a fond idea. And for all we can say about even some of the weaker seasons of Arrow, they've always ended strong.
Oh, yeah. Arrow knows
Let's see what they do here.
Arrow knows
Let's give them the room to do it. And because I'll be honest, and I'm coming for someone who loves this show, The first season, they trusted their mentor Harrison Wells, and he turned out evil. The second season, they trusted their friend Jay Garrick, and he turned out to be evil. This season, they trusted Barry Allen, and I'll be damned if Barry Allen turned out to be evil. So I'm be very interested to see. Like, it's created some patterns. I'm very excited for the non-speedster villain for next season. I hope that wasn't a red herring. I hope they actually do it.
Yeah. We'll see. Like I said, I mean, they got 3 episodes. They can do it. I kind of almost wish. Like I said, there's a lot to explain here, and I think that despite all the pacing issues and things like that, there's 3 episodes in here that we can get a full 3 episodes in. Like, they can spend 3 episodes explaining this, so that by the time we get to that last episode, they stick the landing. So let's see. You know, because even when they did the let me see. Let me look this up because I don't want to be wrong about this. Let me look at season 2 real quick. I want to see the rundown of the episodes. Come on. What are we doing? Are we not going to let me go to season 2? Are we really going to do that, guys? Hold on. Trying to see. Oh, what are we doing this? Because I want to see. Let's see. Go there. Here we go. I want to see. Okay, so season 3, we had Run for His Life. Yeah. So they might be able to pull this off because last season this was episode 20, right?
Yes.
This is episode 20. So last season, episode 21 was the runaway dinosaur. So that was Barry in the Speed Force. And then getting back out, right? Yeah. And then Invincible, I think, was the episode. Let me see. Yeah, and then I think Invincible was the episode that
he came back from the Speed Force.
He came back from the Speed Force, but then his Zoom killed his dad.
Yes.
So, like, with the way they worked those 2 out, neither one of those episodes really dealt with stopping Zoom, right? So the way they have this season set up, these last 3 episodes can really focus on Barry trying to stop Savitar, like 100%. You're not taking Barry off the board because the Runaway Dinosaur last season was a great episode, but if you think about it, it took Barry off the board. It took Barry off the board to kind of deal with Barry being Barry and Barry confronting himself. They've kind of done that already with Barry, right? You know, and technically they did it by sending him to the future and literally still having him be the Flash, but dealing with. So they did that last episode. So, you know, as much as we were talking about pacing issues, and I was really worried about last week, we were really worried about
a lot of space in the season,
right? Compared to last season and how they did last season, how they'll finish those last 3 episodes. These last 3 episodes really have a space to focus on defeating the main villain. So that might fix the pacing issues we've been having. And like I said, something that we've been talking about, I really think, because obviously we're going to talk about Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. next. I really do think that they need to work out. I think I go to any show that does 22 to 23 episodes a season. You got to figure out better ways to take your breaks. Because the breaks are killing your shows. Because I think sometimes when we're talking about pacing and things feeling off, some of that isn't even the show's fault because it's written to be well paced, but they can't, they're not writing to put the breaks in, right? And so I don't know how, again, I'm just ignorant on this. I don't know if the writers know when the breaks are coming on for some of these things, or how long the breaks are going to be, but they might have to start keeping that in mind because Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think they know when they're coming because you can tell they end always.
True, that's true. Yeah,
they may not know the link.
Yeah, it's just if they feel kind of. I think that there's just been too many breaks for this show, and the breaks are breaking up the flow of it. So it's not really the writing, the pacing of the writing. It's the flow of the show and how you watch it. I think you and I were talking about this. Like when you rewatch it, on Netflix, when it hits Netflix 2 weeks after the show ends. By the way, great deal.
Great deal.
Yeah. I feel like it'll flow a lot better. So I think a lot of the problems you were having with pacing will probably go away because you can just go right to the next episode, and you don't have this. You don't have to go, hey, what did happen last season? What did happen that way? I will say, and again, because I'm a big fan of how they did it this season. For these long shows, the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. method, might want to start considering, guys. Break your seasons up into 3 little pieces. It works. That still fit and flow together, and you can bring them all together, and it works. But if you have that theme for 3 separate themes to break your season out into thirds, works out pretty well. Just saying, check out Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. this season. So that might be something that helps with that. And by breaking your season up into small little chunks, it also makes it easier to handle the breaks. So when if you do have these lot of breaks in there, it doesn't take away too much from the audience enjoyment. Because I definitely think that they wrote this season to fit better as a binged watch season than one that's broken up. So again, you got, but and again, I can't really not fault them for this because you got to write for the medium you're in. You're not writing for Netflix. You're writing for network TV, and that comes with the breaks. So, and we know the CW takes a lot of breaks. So, it's something you got to deal with. So, anything else you want to say about this one? Before we move on, man?
No, you've treated me a lot better about the next episodes because you're right. They've cleared a lot of the dead wood. Let's get to another great episode.
Yeah, yeah, it just hit me when you funny thing, we helped each other out because you said something that kind of made me go, wait a minute, let me go back and look at how last season ended, and by doing that, I was like, wait, you're right here. I think we do have with 3 episodes with the only focus on the villain or taking down the villain. I think that there is a way for them to land this plane solidly, and I'm looking forward to it. So. All right, folks, again, check out mtrnetwork.net. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Search for Super Tuesday Recap. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Music. We're on Stitcher. Search for us there. Listen to us there. Also, I'm announcing now, I am about 95% sure this Friday at noon, our tickets for our performance in our live podcast performance with Where's My 40 Acres, the Black Eyed Tips, and others. That'll be at RFD June 17th from 6 to 10 in Washington, D.C. Tickets for that will hopefully go on sale this Friday at noon Eastern. So stay tuned. Keep your eye open for us all on social media. Again, I'm Insanity Report. Dpalm is Dpalm66. The MTR network for the shows, the network's Twitter page. The Facebook group, join the Facebook group, the MTR network. Follow us all there. Keep an eye open for that. Sign up for the newsletter. I'll put it in the newsletter so you can find a link there. So, but hopefully this Friday, the links will go up for you guys to be able to buy tickets. And we'll see you guys when you come to our live performance. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. So, and again, you can email us. I don't think we got any emails for the Flash today, but if you want to email us to talk about, give us your thoughts on some of these things, email us mtrailerreviews@movietrailerreviews.net. And until next time, folks, we are out of here. Peace.